So this is a watch I found on the interweb while searching one day. And I thought this would be a wonderful piece for my daughter on a vacation we've got coming up. Wear this one night to dinner. This is the objective. So I order this watch. 2 months later it gets here. It comes from Romania. Not sure why, but this leather strap is really old. We're going to try and save it. We're going to try and save as much as we can. We don't want to invest money in a watch that really, doesn't have a lot of value. You can spend $1,000 repairing a watch that's worth $50. It's in not great shape, to be honest with you. I'm a little scared. I'm going to look at the back here, and it's been open many, many times before. It's pretty beat up, scratched up, well worn, not sure what we're going to find. But I'm pleasantly surprised. It's not a bad little movement here. These are a common movement in ladies' watches. They're quite small, about the third of the size of a man's watch movement. There are markings here, some vandalism by prior watchmakers showing that they've worked on this watch. So someone bought this watch with the intent of probably wearing it their entire life. Had it worked on, and then it got shoved somewhere. So we're going to take her apart. It's not running right now. Feels wound all the way, can't be sure. And check the hand movement, setting movement seems to be okay. And the dial, and this dial is the reason that I was attracted to this watch. I just thought it was beautiful. And I do like tank watches. So we're going to get busy here. And I did buy new hand or dial hand removers after seeing how rusty those were. Not in great shape, but not in horrible shape. And we just need to figure out why it's not running. I'm going to take it apart, clean it, put it back together. If it runs, then we've pretty much accomplished what we need to do. Dial comes right off, and the unit looks pretty good. Not dinged up, nothing apparent. We'll get started back here on the keyless works. This is how you set the watch. And we take all these parts out. And I had some problems with this little guy right here. Did not want to come, and he was stripped out. And that screw ends up getting twisted right off when I reassemble the watch. So take out the setting lever and springs and all this fancy stuff. And this is the dial side. And this is the dial washer. Take that out. We'll get this all cleaned up. The hour wheel comes out. We're going to clean everything as best we can. This is an intermediary wheel. Removing that. I think this is the minute wheel here. Yep. Get everything done from that side. We'll flip it over, and this is where we're going to... This is weird. I've never had this happen to me when I'm taking out the balance, and I... Watch this. Like a jack, look at that, like a jack in the box. I don't know if it was torqued up to one side or if someone had put it on there and then wound it in a weird way. But this is a delicate piece, and I really get nervous when I look at it with the naked eye. They look so small. The click seems to be working okay. It's stuck to the back of this wheel, as I soon find out. But nothing looks out of place. Try to take off the cannon pinion with the cannon pinion remover. Not happening. This movement's way too small. So, yeah, well, just force it off. And it worked. And now we're going to pull the stem out, see what kind of shape it's in. It's gooey. It's like 2 pounds of chapstick in there or something. I have no idea what that is. This is the only screw that you run backwards or turn backwards on the watch movement. Over to the top of the barrel here. It's the ratchet wheel. And you can't see it, but the click came right with it. I thought I recorded it, but missed it. It was stuck on the back. This unit, the movement rather, is pretty sticky. Old, dried up oils and residue. It probably hasn't been serviced in 20, 25 years. The age of this, I'd probably say maybe from the 70s, the 80s. There are a lot of these movements, as I soon find out, because we're gonna buy a donor. And we're getting down to the fun stuff. This is the beauty of the watch. This is the train bridge here. We're going to remove that, and there's the train of gears, the center wheel, third wheel, fourth wheel coming out. I can't get this escape wheel out, but I'll take the barrel out. So I've got to take the pallet cock off the pallet fork first, and it's stuck together like a lot of things on this movement. And I do manage to free it. And then I can rustle this thing out and fling it to the ground. There we go. And I'm going to clean it with some pegwood, tidy it up. It's not too dirty. And I'm going to take out this mainspring. And I think, well, we might as well just replace it. So I buy a brand new one. Start cleaning on the other parts of the watch. This crystal's pretty scratched up. Gonna get all that DNA out of there and take out most of the scratches. We don't want to make it perfect. If any part of this watch looks too good, it's going to look out of place. So we just want to make a nice kind of a semi-restoration. And 12 hours of polishing it later. It was a lot of polishing with this. I put some polywatch on there. My first time using the polywatch. It worked pretty good. Yeah. Scratched up pretty good, but polished up pretty well also. And we clean the case, do the same thing. Give it a good bath. The back of it, we're going to polish up these bevels on the side. And then after I'm done polishing those, we'll cover them up with some quick tape. And then get a Scotch-Brite pad. And you can see that brushed look on the back. At a certain angle, you can see it amidst the other scratches. We're going to leave those scratches in there because we don't want it to come out perfect. If it was perfect, it would look weird. And there we go. It looks really nice, but see, still got old scratches in there. All right, we got to clean all these parts, which takes forever and a day. And it looks, what is that? The cannon pinion or the? This is where I get into some trouble. All right, so we're greasing up this barrel. We're going to drop this brand new mainspring in. And we broke the top. I don't no idea how I've done this. So sent it over to the blacksmith. No, couldn't even hammer time it out. So we got to get this. This is the donor. And I was surprised there were just a few of these out there. But we find one. It's in good shape. It's not running very well either. And it's bathed in oil. Look at all this. I called OPEC. Told them to come and get it. I got all the oil. So here's the main barrel here. Mainspring inside. And it doesn't look great. But it's intact. I don't know how strong it is. I'm not taking it out. Not messing with it. But after we clean it, she looks pretty good. So here I'm just going to add way too much oil. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. And here's what happened the first time, I think, that I broke this. Must have had the arbor in the wrong spot, but it's unlikely. Just not likely. It's a third the size I'm used to working with, but I just don't know how I messed up the first one. This one I pressed down and it's supposed to snap, and it doesn't, like the first one didn't. But it's okay. It wasn't damaged. Pop it in there. This is the escape wheel. Get back going. We're going to drop the pallet fork in and the pallet cock that holds the fork down. This is super delicate stuff. Train of gears here. Now this is going to be tough. We got 4 wheels that we have to align the tops and the bottoms into their jewels and not break anything. All lined up using some Rodico, that's watchmaker's silly putty, and just drop it right down. Look at that, like I knew what I was doing. 12 hours later, I've got everything lined up, and we're going to move forward with the other plates here. This is the barrel plate. There's the click. Got some grease on the back of that. And we'll drop the ratchet wheel on there. Get everything secured. And we've got our reverse screw coming up. That ratchet wheel's moving. It's looking good. Here's our there's the reverse screw. Let's try to tidy up so any grease. We oil all the jewels. I'm going to make sure it tidy up before we move on. Get the keyless works in. I can do this before or after. I chose to do it after the clutch going in. And now we'll grease it now. If I grease those 2 pieces before, they tend to stick around and hard to move, and it gets grease everywhere. So I'm going to grease this stem. Everything's coming together. Looking okay. Grease in here. And then we grease the back of that, or oil the back of that balance wheel, jewel. Setting lever springs. Everything's going okay. And we're going to oil the tip of these. That's the escape, the outer jewel, the out jewel. And we'll knock this back and forth a few times. And we just keep oiling and keep knocking it back until we spread the oil all the way around the escape wheel. For years of service. We're just trying to get one night out of this watch. I still don't know. So we load up the index stone in there and we turn it a little bit and we'll drop it and we'll see what happens when we drop it. Oh, there's a little movement, so we're on the right track. Put the balance in and she starts up. I'm pretty excited. This watch is running now. And putting back the crystal onto the case there, it cracked the top. But it's tiny, and we're just like one night's what we're trying to get out of this. Seems to work okay. These 2 hands are hitting, so we got to take them off, send them back to the blacksmith, hammer time. A lot of work for this little piece that if you blow on it too hard, it bends. All right, I'm convinced it's running. How well is it running? It's not running well at all. It's off about 15 minutes a day. But the adjustment's very difficult, and we're not going to attempt it until after we've worn this for one night. It'll work. It looks okay. Mission accomplished, kind of. But, hey, it's a good-looking watch. And for one night, it'll tell the proper time. Anyway, congratulations to my daughter who's, just doing great. Take care.